Why is energy flow so important to brain activity and alertness? Why should you do your best to have your good energy flow? And why do you need to keep your sugar levels in check? But more importantly, you need to be feeling the energy rush or constant energy flow to have good cognitive health. Let's take the case of glucose and Alzheimer. The lack of glucose or lack of supply of glucose to the neurons, whatever the reason it be, seems to impact brain activity or cognitive performance and memory. How it works? Insulin plays a key role in memory function. So insulin resistance, which cause diabetes, can worsen cognitive performance and memory. And insulin resistance doubles or triples your risk of Alzheimer. Insulin resistance blocks the glucose from entering into your neurons. It is insulin that takes away the glucose from your blood and directs it to other parts of the body or to the cells. Here, the brain, which is so energy hungry, needs a good constant supply of glucose. But with insulin resistance, it disrupts the supply of glucose into the neurons. So lots of evidence converges to suggest that insulin resistance or central insulin resistance play a causal role in the development and progression of Alzheimer. An inactive lifestyle, a reduced blood flow, also impacts cognitive health and performance. But likewise, reduced glucose metabolism starves these neurons of energy and provoke a lot of response that includes inflammation, increased oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, and ultimately neurodegeneration. But this doesn't mean you take more glucose, but you deal with insulin resistance. You promote a lifestyle that increase blood flow, foods that increase insulin sensitivity and heighten a consistency in energy flow into your cells and neurons. And this inflammation, oxidative stress in the brain, these are things you do not feel. Pain, there's no pain. But when you feel the brain fog, it is already a symptom of inflammation and oxidation. So your brain fog is never good, but it's something that needs to be urgently dealt with. And genetic factors like APOE gene, E4, accelerate other risk factors and driver mechanism for Alzheimer, particularly metabolic factors such as brain glucose metabolism. It restricts glucose supply or use to the brain, making the brain worn out. And researchers have found that in high glucose environments, APOE E4 gene works to block insulin receptors in the brain, forming sticky clumps or aggregate that prevents neurons from taking in energy. So energy flow is such a marker of neurological and overall health. So making a lifestyle change, a dietary change that brings consistent energy flow, mental clarity, and cognitive energy and performance is no small feat. It changes the present experience and also speaks a lot about your future health and cognitive health. And high-risk patients of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer needs to pay special attention to their metabolic health. So the goal is to improve glucose metabolism, inflammation, and oxidative stress. And omega-3 fatty acids help cope with E4-induced metabolic changes and dysfunction of the blood-brain barrier. And you have to also cut off refined carbs, refined oils, and alcohol, and most importantly, exercise. And steady endurance exercise helps improve mitochondrial efficiency and also stave off high cortisols which is induced by stress and anxiety. And strength training is not just good for overall strength, but is inversely associated with incidence of dementia. The greater someone's grip strength, the lower the risk of dementia. So it's worthy to be noted here what food and nutrition provides you the best strength. What food gives you constant supply of strength and energy? As much as exercise that promotes strength is important, the food that seem to strengthen and stabilize metabolic and energy flow would be equally important. Exercise is number one toolkit against neurodegenerative disease, but sleep is also, like food, crucial since our brain heals when we sleep. And coming back to food, a ketogenic diet is found to improve general cognition and memory in people with mild cognitive impairment and early stage Alzheimer's disease. This happens with the brain relying not just on one particular source of energy called glucose, but also on ketones for brain fuel. So it's like a hybrid car with both petrol and electric at its disposal. And probiotics that checks the overgrowth of bad bacteria and protects your gut, and diets that heal and support your gut, no wonder will help your heart, your brain health, and even your gum. In fact, GABA, a needed protein that acts as a in fact, GABA, a needed protein that acts as a neurotransmitter to activate the serotonin hormone, is synthesized in your gut. GABA slows down your brain, switches off the overactiveness as it activates serotonin. So, gut health impacts your brain health, your stress and anxiety levels. So, metabolic health is where one needs to be looking for if you want healthy living and longevity.